Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harold and today is Monday, April 13th. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over how I lost $280 today. So just going into the daily plan, overnight we saw this gap form. And my goal was to play off this fill if it were able to, right? The fill was aligning pretty much with the previous day POC. So if price was able to fill this gap, then I was looking to either take the continuation to the upside or to the downside. Now, the biggest mistake that I made today was failing to notice that the gap fill was up here, not here. For some reason, I thought that the gap fill was at the previous day value area low. So I was watching price and I made a plan around this level. But then once I got into the trade and I was looking at my 30-minute chart again, I realized that the gap was actually at this level. So I ended up taking a trade at not a great area. Okay, that was my biggest mistake. I guess it was a stupid mistake, but I guess it happens sometimes, right? So just to give some context, market opened, we saw some buying absorption, aggressive selling, which I've noted right here. Price was kind of holding, unable to push higher, and then we just get this impulsive move to the upside. And we get buyers kind of absorbed, indicated that there, and then we get buyers absorbed again. Unable to stay above the previous day value area low, closing below it, but then sellers also getting absorbed down here. So this is pretty 50-50. I actually ended up entering the trade before this candle closed. I entered on the 2-minute right here. I saw the buying absorption. I saw the aggressive selling also step in to support the sellers. And in this context, there was no selling absorption, but there was in this context here. But I took this trade because I thought that the gap fill was at 68.48 previous day value area low. If I knew that the gap fill was actually at the 60, I think this is the 63s or the 58s, then I probably would have looked to take a trade up here. So regardless of what happened today, I probably would have lost money just because the market ended up trending up all day. But the biggest problem was that I completely misread the chart. Anyway, I don't know why I was so eager to short the market on this move to the upside. It was actually a pretty strong move to the upside, but the confirmations were definitely diverging. Like we got here 36,000 lots, and then we were followed with 41,000 lots of selling, which is pretty good indicator of a reversal. As well as here, we get 27,000 lots of buying, and then we're met with 25,000 lots of selling. Something important that I want to note for today that I did specifically was that when we were on this candle right here, ranging from 68.51 to 68.46, my stop was around right here. My entry was around right here. But this is the candle where I noticed that I messed up. This is the candle where I noticed that I made a mistake on my analysis. And my first initial thought was to get out. I was just telling myself, like, get out, get out. Like, there's no point in being in this trade anymore. This gap is most likely going to fill to the upside, right? And you're going to get stopped out. But I couldn't get myself to do it. I couldn't get myself to stop myself out and just take the 5-point loss or the 7-point loss. Instead, I decided to pretty much get greedy and gamble it and see if this thing would actually just reverse from this point, because sometimes gaps don't, completely fill. But that's probably the biggest lesson I took away from today, is that I just have to be quicker in terms of thinking, or I think I am quick, but now I have to be able to execute that. Like, if I know I'm wrong, then I got to get out. That's something that I need to practice a little bit more, and that's something that I'm going to be thinking about in the coming days of my trading. Just to give some details on the trade itself, we lost negative $286, 5 contracts traded, 5 micros. The initial target was $493. Our average time in the trade was about 7 minutes. And the average planned R multiple was 1.76. So I guess it just wasn't really a great planned trade to begin with. I guess it was something that I could have stayed out of. And then just going into like my strategy section here, I was just like kind of checking all my requirements, and I've realized that my divergence section, or like the divergence slash shift in delta section, was not able to be checked, meaning that I didn't even really have all my requirements to enter this trade. So we'd probably consider this an F level trade, right? I don't know as far as to go to F, but I don't have like a C or D labeled here. It was just a trade that should have been avoided in the first place. But make mistakes, learn from them, and we get better the next day. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.